The South Marlborough Landscape Restoration Trust is partnering with the Marlborough District Council as well as local wineries and farmers to control the fast-spreading self-seeding wilding pines. The trees pose an enormous threat to the environment in Marlborough and right across New Zealand as well. The Trust sources funds, provides information and draws in volunteers from the community to assist with the physical work of getting rid of wilding pine infestations.
The Trust has been going since 2016, so 6 years. There are 7 trustees. 4 of us are either farming or retired farmers, so we have quite a close association with the Aotearoa. We've got funding from initially the Lotteries Commission for this big job we did in the Aotearoa, which the first bit was 80,000 hectares. We cleared of scattered, mostly radiata. And then we've got money from the Rata Foundation and a couple of private trusts. One of them, the Vavasor Trust, is based in the bottom end of the Aotearoa here. And we've raised $1 million, so we're pretty pleased about that. And we've covered a lot of country. There's 80,000 hectares in the initial Aotearoa sector, and then we did another 24,000 hectares in the Fernie block, and this was very steep and a bit like this country, but possibly steeper. And we did another 10,000 hectares in this black birch area, and then 20,000 hectares over in the Ned. What we really need to get to is the branch lethem, which is possibly the worst environmental disaster in New Zealand. It's 50,000 hectares, it's steep, it's inaccessible, it's hugely infested with trees, and the 2 worst varieties, Pinus contorta and Douglas fir. And we've started some experimental work up there, and we've hoped to get a little bit more funding shortly to really make a start on it, but it's a massive project.
It's a quite hard country to get to. It took a day to walk in and a day to walk out.
With the branch lethem, there are no farmers up there. It's all dock land, and everyone thinks you can't do it. But if we don't, then that seed rain from there will come over here, and it already is. When we started in the Aotearoa, we knew of 1 or 2 patches of contorta, but having done that 80,000 hectares, we found, I think we're up to 30 patches now that no one knew about really, and that has blown in from the branch lethem 25 to 30 kilometres away. So the problem is, if we don't deal to that source up there, then all the work that's been done in Molesworth, and there's $12 million been spent there, if we don't get that source work done, then they'll be doing that forever. And those trees can go all the way to Kaikoura. You know, there's huge areas here under threat. And one of the reasons is that a lot of people in Marlborough never go up into that back country like the branch lethem. So they see all this, nice land down here and up the Wairau Valley, but they don't see the back country, which is under huge threat.
Okay, so you've already done a couple of hours this morning. So where did you get to there?
Yeah, we went around this area here.
Yeah.
Up to about here.
Yep, okay.
We're on dock land here. We've got plantations below us. We've come off the Aotearoa, and there's the area just below that we've driven through is where the volunteers like from Kono Wines have been operating. But this area up here are more experienced and able volunteers that we call the Lost Souls. They have been working today in that area. The process we've been using is pulling the trees if they're small enough, cutting them and pasting them with the chemical, or the other way for the trees when they're bigger is what we call drill and fill. So we're drilling a hole at 45 degrees and filling it with chemical. We had our first volunteers here at the end of 2020. So we've just had a few events here. We have been operating, so we've got 2 ways. We've got volunteers, and then we've got the money that we've raised to actually do the work with Andrew and what his gangs and the people that we employ, contractors. We've had a lot of wins in that we've been able to actually start the project, which was for the whole of the Aotearoa with the farmers really supporting us on that, and then being able to expand into this, what's called the Fernie Conservation Area, goes right up to the ridge. And then expand, we've actually expanded, we drove past some of it coming into the Ned Te Hau, and now finally getting up into the branch lethem, which is where we really want to go with the lost souls, and raise funding to work in that area, which is way more infested than what we're seeing here.
As a Māori organisation, kaitiakitanga is really important to us, so it's sort of looking after the natural environment. You know, we're very aware that we operate in vineyards and mussel factories and things like that, which is quite modifying the environment, I suppose. So I guess whatever we can sort of put back into improving the world around us, and we're all sort of, you know, a little bit hippie and a little bit organic, and we like all that sort of stuff. So, you know, so we were looking for a cause, an environmental cause that we could do a bit of volunteering from the company, and we could throw, you know, some company time into it. And as we sort of looked around, not a lot of public land in the Awatere, so we'd like to do something sort of conservation-wise, and we figured really getting rid of pine trees from our sort of natural environment was as good as planting native trees, so that's what we did.